Did you know that every 7 minutes a black person is born in this country without soul? Hello, I'm B.B. King. Won't you help Don Simmons and the thousands of others that suffer from this tragic disorder? Its cruel symptoms can strike anyone. Let's take a look.
I think the Republican Party has done one heck of a job. Don't you, June?
I'll say, Ward, we Republicans have turned this country around.
Safety and good mileage are the two things I looked for in a new car. That's why I bought a Volvo station wagon.
Hi, I'm president of the David Hartman fan club here in Glendale. I've even met David Hartman once. What a neat guy.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheroo. Good luck will rub off when I shake hands with you.
This is B.B. King saying, won't you please give, so that Don Simmons here and so many others can become useful members of society.
Or below me a kiss, and that's lucky too.
Right to Blacks Without Soul. Post Office Box 1305A, Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you.
Snake eyes. AT! Oh, Hammerhead! Oh no! Pussycat! Pussycat Puss! Batman! Double header! Pickle Puss! Pumpkinhead! Neon Noodle! Jokebox Jaw! Wolfman! Ruff! Ruff! You're all under arrest!
You haven't even begun to peak, but you're gonna peak today. Oh, you're gonna peak all over everybody. Make it work, Dennis.
Together forever and never to part. Together forever we two.
Make it work.
Eat.
Okay. To answer your question, Natalie, the board of directors was a little concerned that we didn't have a back-to-school drug or Christmas drug.
We didn't have an International Women's Day drug.
Exactly. So, I tried to remind them that when I invented Stummies...
Oh, Stummies, yes, Don. Thank God that you did.
It took both time and effort. But unfortunately, the board takes a narrow view, and in their own narrow way, they think that the company is losing money, which in fact we are, but again, I think this is the narrow view.
Well, damn them, Don. I mean, what the hell do they know?
What do they know? Thank you.
Well, they're insisting that we cut our research outlay by 60%. Of course, I told them to fuck off.
Good for you, Don.
But then, out loud, I said I'd consider it.
Of course, Don. Exactly the right thing to do. Play with them.
So, where are we with that, Marv?
With what, Don?
Our restructuring plan?
You mean the thing that you just mentioned just now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on top of that, Don.
Good.
Dude, you don't have to be ashamed or anything.
But I'm not a fudge packer.
Then why are you packing fudge?
I'm not. I'm a very busy actor. I'm just here trying to get away for a weekend and do some fly fishing.
Dude, you are in a fudge factory packing fudge.
Oh, that does it. I will sue you.
For what?
You can't just call somebody a fudge packer and get away with it. Hey, is that fudge packer Tom Cruise?
I like cream pies as much as the next guy. Oh, don't say it out loud. Oh, okay. Let me make a cream pie for you, okay? Then you can try it. See what you think. I do not want to taste your cream pie. They taste great. I can guarantee it. You've tasted yours? Of course I have. Haven't you? No. I've tasted mine. I didn't like it. I've tasted mine, yeah. I liked mine.
I was the first in my class. In law. I was the first in my class in law.
Well, it should be a very good blowjob then. We will await your answer.
I don't believe this was a fair test of my command abilities.
And why not?
Because there was no way to win.
A no-win situation is a possibility every commander may face. Has that never occurred to you?
No, sir. It is not.
How we deal with death is at least as important as how we deal with life, wouldn't you say?
As I indicated, Admiral, that thought had not occurred to me.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. For everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with Hacha. Just watch this chorus steps.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Comics Presents. 148 Tuesdays ago, we started this program up. The one before that lasted a little while, and sometimes we bring it back for special episodes. But FCP, That's what we're here for, right? Fantastic comics that I am presenting to you. Different than every other YouTube show on the air. This is from a comic store owner's point of view. We're located in Berkeley, California from Wednesday to Sunday, 9 to 5 or 12 to 5 p.m. 9, Jesus. 12 to 5. Come on in. I usually stick around a little bit longer on Wednesdays, sometimes other days. Yeah, I got some work to do still. Comics to file. But this is a show. All right, you're saying, wait a second. I know totally of a store that has a YouTube channel, and they totally talk about comic books. Well, we're open to the public. Maybe that store isn't. Does it have a theme song? Like, we've had a theme song since like 2011. We have the episodes to prove it. Well, maybe not from 2011. We always had the song. It was the theme store of the song. Well, nonetheless, there's got to be something that sets us apart from other people. I'm hoping the store aspect is, but really, I'm just doing this for my customers so they can find out all the stuff that's going on in comics that they're going to have to allocate their funds for, especially in this Christmas season. But maybe you out there, someone who doesn't shop with me, you might still be able to get some information that you might be able to, use, pass on. Maybe let whoever else know that there's this show going on every Tuesday at 8 on the West Coast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We usually start this show. Let me get this banner down. That's my name. That's my name, Yule. Hi, everybody. And this is what we do when we first start the show. I like to come on here and talk about things that I hear about in the store. We could talk about Black Panther. I've heard many a thing from many a person, whether they saw it or not. All very interesting thoughts, ones that I can impart to you. But what I like to do at starting the show is talk a little bit about wrestling. I used to do a wrestling show called the Wrestling Council, and then that blew up. And now Bob, one of the members of the Wrestling Council, has bastardized it with his buddy Hollywood. And they do a show every Tuesday at 5. So you might want to check them out. But we do the Wrestling Minute here because I don't really want to watch a lot of wrestling anymore. I'm getting to the point where I'm really over it. But there's always something I like to talk about. And tonight we're going to talk about William Regal. He's a real man's man. He's a man. That's the copyright claim right there. William Regal, who was let go. His contract was up or something like that. And WWE let him go. He was an NXT, pretty much a father figure back there, so that people could sup at the teat of a classic wrestler, a guy who understood the business and could impart it to new generations. So he went to AEW, where the new generation of wrestlers are. And if you believe EC3 said the second William Regal stepped through the doors, he knew he had made a mistake. That was like a year ago, not even a year ago. So it's been said that he's out of his contract and he's going to be going back to WWE. I don't think he's really interested in being an on-air character, so he can start immediately. And he's pals with Triple H, it seems. That guy's been in charge, and this is probably, like of all the signings that AEW did, like, you know, you got Punk, that was a good one. Brian Danielson, if he's available, you take him. But then they went and got a whole bunch of other people. And some of those people were supposed to be teaching people in AEW how to wrestle, or at least, you know, approach the product so that it could be good television, which most of the people, the talent, hadn't, you know, actually been able to do. But, you know, that seemed to be pretty much ignored. And so was William Regal's conversation with those people. To some, that was EC3. I don't remember him really working a whole lot in the AEW. Nonetheless, Regal's coming back to WWE, and that's good. There's also, it's bad for AEW that they couldn't make it work with him. Gunther is going to fight Ricochet, defending his Intercontinental belt. Ricochet just won the World's Cup. Congratulations, Ricochet. And with that, the Wrestling Minute is over. All right, that's excellent. Let me take this banner down. All right, got done with the Wrestling Minute. That was pretty painless, I think. It is a shame, though. I could kind of go on a little bit longer. I remember old people. They suck. I mean, let's be real about it, you know. They want to tell you things, and you want to experience things, and what they're going to tell you is just like spoilers all the time. But it's a shame that we can't take care of them a little bit better. And, you know, again, maybe possibly just sup from the teat of someone that's been through it. You know, the whole thing about history, failing, you know, you're going to repeat it if you fail to realize that it happened before. And it does. I mean, you live long enough and you see the cycles. And it's like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's not as much this and it's a little bit of that, you know. And it's a little less each time the way it goes now. Nothing is so super special that there is no ET anymore. You can't get your naivete back from the Santa Claus days. And generations continually like lose that little bit of that black and white lifestyle. And, you know, we went through it. Now we have, you know, less of the things that, whatever you think was the defining aspect of, you know, your everything. Is that still, you know, going on strong? Or are you fighting for it? Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching this after the fact. This is the part of the show where I like to say,
we didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Penny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
hello, everyone. I shaved. I was on Thinking Critical this last Saturday, and I thought I had a pretty good performance. I thought that the rest of the participants were pretty awesome, and it was a good show. I would recommend going and watching the Saturday show called The Aficionados. That was me. I'm an aficionado. Doesn't take much. You know, it's just a lifetime of reading comics, being a grunt in a comic store for a long time, longer than I should admit, and then being the grunt that owns a comic store now. Yeah, This is what it's all about right here. This is why you come in. So, give me a thumbs up right now to say, yeah, I'm going to Fantastic Comics for this type of repartee. First up, Fantinian wants to let you know that he's not stupid. When you've been all being about gas, he's been going to Costco, and he's been getting the full treatment, the full Monty, if you will, over at Costco. And they do all sorts of stuff for you, including give you gas. Well, sell you gas, but it's not as much. So, let's go Costco. Rah, rah, rah. Jill B. Pill in the other room is saying hello. And Talking Soul wants to let us know that he is back. They is back. I see other people coming in and out. You say hi if you're interested. If you're like, what the heck? Dodger hat. We haven't done anything in the trading. So like right now in baseball, really quick, it ties in with comic books. The San Francisco Giants are trying their darndest to, well, more wrestling, but the store. Trying their darndest to get Aaron Judge. And this guy's going to get like over $360 million for like 10 years if he agrees to this. And the Yankees want him because, he just beat Babe Ruth and Roger Maris, single season home run record. He was clean. He didn't have a short portion left where he was like, or whatever. But he's awesome. He was a legitimate triple crown threat and all that stuff. And the Giants, man, they never can really, the last big fish that they really landed was Barry Bonds. And that was a long time ago. It built that park that they own, and they don't owe money on it at all. And they've seen attendance lag. Does it sound like comics at all? They've seen attendance lag, and this sells jerseys. People go to the ballpark to see this person perform. It's electric. People get excited. The team maybe starts doing better. There's a lot of reasons to do that. I could see that in wrestling. I could see that in comic books. But, what I see that in movies. And we'll talk about movies. But, it just, you got to get it done. This baseball, though, because of the union, because of the desire to be competitive, all the other things. See, the thing is that when you have another company that owns you, your reasons for being might not, jive with other people that are companies on their own, or even different organizations that own other other businesses and all that other stuff. Stuff I don't even want to ever think about if I can help it. Other than, what are they going to do? Keep putting these comics out. Again, I think comic books are an obvious entertainment. I mean, we got all these movies and everything. Marvel is owned by Disney. Maybe they won't own it later on. Maybe just the IPs for the movies and stuff like that. But, the Marvel characters are good. And if they were to be, given out cheaper, like not so cheap that I couldn't own a store, we can't go back to 60 cents. But, maybe we can like figure out how to get 60 cents off the cover price. Because like Marvel and DC especially are owned by, major conglomerates, Disney, Warner Brothers, and it's really Discovery and all that other stuff. They are easy advertisements for all the movies that are coming out. We're going to find out right now. I was reading Twitter, where I often am, and Rob Liefeld tweeted that his statement wasn't, that it didn't last as long, that it's going to look bad real soon. And it did, and it was that he thought Black Adam was going to be a big deal. And Variety is reporting that Black Adam is facing theatrical losses. And they talked about all the money that they earned and all the money that goes into advertising and all the money that they needed to make and what they made. And what they needed to make was like $600 million. Because the movie cost almost $200 million to make. And so they didn't make 400,000. So I rounded up a little bit, but they didn't even round up. I can't even round them up to 400,000 because I don't know. All I know is that they made under 400,000. So they'll give you a number for one thing and not another number for the other. So I'm recommending that it was really bad. And I mean, of course it was. And we're finding out how big a deal The Rock really is. You know, The Rock in a franchise looks really good. The Rock with Disney behind him, funny movies, looks really good. The Rock in his first few movies where he did some things that were, you know, he did the Get Shorty movie. He had Dan DeVito behind him. You know, and then he does the funny one with Stifler and stuff like that. You know, these are obvious movie choices, but is, you know, the Scorpion King. But is The Rock really a star? Or is he the best person to fit the mold of what an action star looks like? Again, these days, is there really even an action star? You know, you go to see a Tom Cruise movie, maybe, and he might have things that are like adventurous or action packed in the movie, but I know he does his stunts and everything, but how, you know, how big a deal are these? Are you seeing it for him? Are you seeing it for that character? Oh, I like those type of character movies. Maybe that is the case. And then we have the superhero stuff, right? Excuse me a moment. Gotta wet my whistle. Dude, Black Adam bombed. And I mean, it's a villain. I mean, of course it was. You say, oh, well, the Joker did really well. Yeah, the Joker's been around a real long time, and we knew we were seeing a different take on the character. The Joker, Batman, actually, the reason why people, I wish I had the clip ready to go. You like Batman because of the villains. I like Superman because of Superman, you know. He's got the best villains. Who cares? It's supposed to be Batman. And the same, and the Black Adam, I mean, even at his best, he's a separatist of his own nation. He believes in his people like Dr. Doom. Well, probably nicer than Dr. Doom. But, you know, it's still a cut off hands of thieves society under Black Adam's reign. So, you know, he's good in his land, but in our land, it's questionable. And don't cross his path because he's a jerk. Who wants to see a movie like that? You know? I mean, yeah, we like watching movies where people like get destroyed and then they come back, you know, whether it's a personal thing or some crazy thing that they have to come back from physically maybe. But a person who's basically, I mean, did they not portray him as evil in the movie? I wish Fantinium was able to comment right now. But I imagine, you know, of course, I won't see it. I'm not complaining about it. It's just maybe if there was the Black Adam comic came out a few months before the movie came out, and they even had one-shots featuring the characters that were going to be in the movie. Now imagine this. It didn't cost me anything. Wow. That means every one of those that I sold, I'd have been pure profit. That'd been awesome. Or maybe for the movie comic books, so like Batman's always a movie. Black Adam this year is a movie. We're ramping up to the Flash movie, so Flash. Maybe those comics are cheaper. The idea being, well, if they're cheaper, we hope we can sell more of them to other people. Or, you know, we give away free comics. We pay for the free comics in the store that we give away a free comic book day. So maybe it could be something like that. And if it was part of the advertising of the movie companies, it wouldn't cost near as much as they spent on Black Adam. And like, who's watching TV all the time? who can't skip past most of the videos that you get, shown on YouTube or Instagram, or, just scroll. I mean, Black Adam. It only took a third of a millisecond to get past that. A comic book engages the reader. You read it, you look at the picture, it looks back at you. It gets in your mind. And you're like, the movie comes through. You knew the movie was coming out. People that paid attention knew the movie was coming out. Everybody else didn't know. And if everybody else doesn't always watch a Peacock thing, because it would be Universal, right? Maybe they're on Netflix. You ain't getting no Shazam commercials on Netflix or Hulu. Maybe a Hulu. Paramount, please. They don't care. HBO doesn't care. Oh, actually, HBO would care. It's hard to remember all of them. Nonetheless. Also, like, I heard that, or I read that supposedly they're going to do DC animation on Amazon. I don't know if that's in addition to HBO or if HBO Max, because, a lot of people say this is the worst one ever. Let me know in the comments what you think about HBO Max. But it probably is like the most expensive if you don't have it on cable already and all that other stuff. But again, where are you going to see these Shazam things? But if graphic novel, I mean, the thing is that like Scholastic, that's their business. They need to make money selling books. You know what DC doesn't need to do? Make money on their books. They could be like, in addition to that Dogman and that Raina Telgemeier book that you're buying, you can get this Black Adam graphic novel for nothing. How many kids in America would go for nothing, huh? Well, that's cool. You might as well get it, right? I mean, that'd be odd, really interesting thing. I would like to see that happen. All right. I didn't talk about tonight's show. We're going to talk about buying for ourselves in December, because the thing about it is that in comic book stores, you're usually buying stuff for yourself every week you go in there. Let's see, we did the Wrestling Minute. We're going to do New Comic Book Day in just a second. Mother's Basement and more. I guess the more would be R.I.P. Kirstie Alley. There's a picture of her. Better days. I know a lot of people will be talking smack about Kirstie Alley. I looked it up. 1982, Wrath of Khan came out. Jill just watched that the other day. I watched it with her. It was such a revelation that this Vulcan, the first Star Trek was kind of you might like it now that you're older. Maybe you've seen it a few times. Maybe you're ready to watch it. Go back and check it out. You might dig it. Maybe you'll understand it better than I would have in, what was that, like 79, 78? I would have been like 8 or 9 years old. I know I was in the movie theater, and I know I barely remembered anything. Of course, the bald lady. But in 1982, I was 12. And the thing, Uhura was always kind of like, old. In later movies, you get to see a lot more of her, and wow, we lost 2 Star Trek people this year. But Kirstie Alley, and then of course you see her on that, but I saw her mostly on Cheers. I just got this picture though. Ted Danson, what? Is that wig finally put to rest on Ted Danson? He has different ones, I'm assuming. That was like all through the 80s. I remember seeing that. He, rather than get rid of fake hair on his head, he'd rather play like a molester. Yeah, that's what I also. There you go. That was sad. Also, the ref on oh shit, I shouldn't say this because I can't remember now. That claymation fight thing on MTV. The referee died. Oh. Let's see what we got here. All right, so. Oh yes, that's right. Jill said that watching Futurama, especially the Futurama with Star Trek episodes, the one especially where they get part of like a fanboys like collection. Such a good episode. And so she had never seen the fan dance before, other than from Futurama. So Jill has run through the Star Trek movies, and she finally got to see that. I mean, that was a revelation too for me, but I was older already by that time. But like a sexy young thing that wasn't like, Kirk's plaything in a Star Trek thing. Yeah, we didn't have Next Generation yet. All right. New comic book day, everybody. It's coming out tomorrow. I try to put a good mix of things that are coming out tomorrow. Fantanium said, I'm back. I heard my name being mentioned with regards to Black Adam. Yeah, let people know in the chat how you felt about it. Because it didn't make a lot of money. It didn't make a lot of money at all. It lost money, actually. And that's what it seems to happen, and not only that, they were coming out. What was this that Rob Liefeld was responding to? They were talking about there is a new power in the DC because Black Adam came out. People were talking, positively about it. Oh, it made decent money in its first week. And it was like 67 million. I'm like, this doesn't sound good at all. And then of course, James Gunn is hired on to be, working for the DCU, like crafting it out, being the Kevin Feige of DC. But for all the reasons that are going on, like Discovery doesn't want to spend money on scripted material. They want to take existing material and flush it down the toilet so they can get money back instead. DC probably isn't as bad off as people want to think, but it's just not as exciting as it used to be. It needs to change somehow, and it's hard to figure out who that person's going to be to come in and really shake things up. Effectively, a lot of people that I would recommend are, for whatever reason, not working with any company anymore, or very rarely are. And if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say it was a systematic removal of said type people. Everybody else is just towing the line and just allowing everything to happen. But maybe nobody cares anymore. It's everything. Oh, we're important. We're going to be your fodder for the movies that are coming out. That sounds horrible. Everybody bitches about not making the money that they deserve on the things that they created. And then they go to greener pastures and they find out that isn't quite so good. Then you go to crowdfunding opportunities, whether it's Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And if you do something that's kind of they might do a thing where your stuff is suppressed a little bit. Like it's available to be seen, but you have to know how to get to it. And there's no guarantee. Kickstarter still seems like the only one that's actually profitable of all the crowdfunding companies. I know we, as a store, did one of the other ones, and we put out for a product, and we still haven't got that one. And it's oh man, still there's creators involved, and the easiest way for you to save money buying comic books is to come into a comic book store to buy comic books. But not everybody's doing that. And not everybody's super happy when you do it online either. So a lot of times you'll get your stuff late. Like I have people that have pull lists and I send them stuff to them, but they're a little behind. But I try and keep them within a month. But that happens anyway with the other companies where you're getting your weekly comics like a week or two late. Corey Keller has joined us. It's about time. Hello, good to see you. We're just going to be talking about some new comics that are coming out tomorrow. I guess we should start since I've said that already. This one will be exciting, but I'm going to take my camera off. Oh, that looks good, Eugene. How exciting. All right, first up, we've got the I'm in correspondence with the gentleman that I sell comics to on Twitter. I'm in correspondence on Twitter with the gentleman I have sold some comics to. A gentleman. And he's been letting me know, without spoilers, all the stuff that's been going on with Batman like a couple weeks beforehand, making me think he knows somebody. Maybe an editor. Nonetheless, I was already apprised of the situation. I got my books earlier than he was able to tell me this week. Being on the West Coast, that doesn't always happen. But I read this issue. Chip Zdarsky. It's the end of his fail-safe storyline that Jorge Jimenez is drawing. And wow, what a cliffhanger. I mean, it's the end of the story, but it ends on a cliffhanger. And I'm really excited to read future issues of Zdarsky's Batman. But wait, there's a New Year's resolution I'll be letting you know about soon. Next up, we have Thor. The Legacy of Thanos, Part 1. Wow, that's a great, clever. Nick Klein is back on art. Excellent. Where's Donny Cates? Why, he was co-writing the last two issues with Al Ewing because Venom was involved, but Donny Cates seems to have lost it just a little bit. Can't keep going over at Marvel right now. He does have a book that's coming out through Image, but I haven't seen crossover in a while. And that only means, and the only other one that he has is Vanished. So, Donny Cates, I hope you can, I mean, let's be real. I don't know the person. So let's get back to former glory, man. Your success rides in the things that you do successful, and you should concentrate on that. And, here's an old man giving advice to a slightly younger man. I know it's hard to see the forest for the trees and all that stuff, but you are a talented person within comics, and it would be a shame to see you just fold up. But one person's misery is another person's delight, I guess. Maybe not take such delight. And so you take leftover foods going in there also. Is that what you're doing? Yeah. All right. Let me put this up. Torunn Grønbekk is the new writer for Thor. Excellent. I couldn't remember. That's Torunn Grønbekk. And for all of you people that have problems with such things, I'm sure her biography is going to be wonderful for everybody. In her Twitter headline, what a heading. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Do I have it? I thought I did. Guess I screwed up. What else is new? Next up, we have Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, part number 2. 7-part miniseries written and drawn by Mark Silvestri. You might remember him from such books as King Conan, Cyber Force, The Uncanny X-Men, Top Cow Publishing, all sorts of stuff like Witchblade, and on and on and on. I can't remember if he had done Batman before. Maybe somebody in the chat will remember. Next up, we have a brand new number 1, Miles Morales Spider-Man. The artwork looks nice. Vincentini. It looks nice in there. The cover's kind of, I mean, it's a nice cover, but I like that he should train with Iron Fist like the other Spider-Man did. Maybe that put that stinging power to use. Cody Ziegler is writing this. He did Spider-Punk most recently and was also one of the writers on The Amazing Spider-Man when Peter Parker was poisoned by the UFOs. Cody Ziegler also is a writer of TV. And I think Robot Chicken and She-Hulk are some of his credits. How is that? Do you like that? Yeah, thumbs up. Excellent. So there you go. Miles Morales Spider-Man coming out tomorrow. Let's look at comments really quick. Eric D says, I think Zoop is gaining ground. Zoop is the one I'm waiting for. Yeah, the JPL John Paul Leon's artist edition. Yeah, that's cool. Did Axe Wielder John come out? Because that's the one that I purchased. It's a bummer. Donnie Cates, did he fall off the wagon? I don't know exactly which wagon it was that he fell off, but he fell off something. He had some like weird cryptic tweet making him sound like he was all alone. And it was like, oh my goodness, don't tweet that. Right? Secret Invasion comes out, everybody. That's written by Ryan North. I don't remember who the artist is. It was pretty cool. It has Nick Fury hunting down those Skrulls. And this is the first issue of Ryan North's reemergence to Marvel since Squirrel Girl. The very next week came his first Fantastic Four issue. And on this week, the same week as Secret Invasion, we get his Fantastic Four number 2. Last issue was a Ben Grimm and Alicia story. In this issue, it looks like it's Reed and Sue. Obviously, the couples. So the next one will be Johnny and who knows. But I enjoyed the first issue, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's Only Teenage Wasteland by Dark Horse. I don't know Kurt Pyers, Jacoby Salcedo, Mark Dale, or Micah Myers. But if one of those is a colorist, I don't care. And if one of them is a letterer, I really don't care. Other than the fact I care because I want to read the story. And this one was pretty worthwhile. I enjoyed it, actually. It was good showing me who the characters were and getting us to the very next issue. It's 4-issue mini. This is one I would recommend to anybody that's just looking for something a little different, but not too different, you know. And again, it's like these character pieces. I really liked everybody by the end of it. Well, I mean, I feel like I knew everybody by the end of the first issue, and that's pretty well done as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to read the second issue, guaranteed. If you are a Noctera fan, Scott Snyder, Tony Daniel, Francis Manapul, this is a one-shot issue featuring Val. That's that character's name. That probably sounds pretty bad. It's pretty bad that I can't remember all the characters' names, especially with the one shooting guns at me. This the in between story of Noctera, in between the different issues or the series that comes out, once a year for 6 issues. Francis Manipal, I love his artwork. You should check that out. Oh my God, Extreme X-Men. This is PTSD I'm feeling right here. You remember back in 2000 when the X-Men wore leather? I'm happy that I don't see Callisto in here because she had like 4 tentacles. And I just was like, how's she running around like that? Just looks stupid. They got to fix that. And they didn't for like the longest time. But man, look at Rogue. Bishop with a gun, glasses. Got whatever she's calling herself, Rachel back there. Kitty Pryde and Lockheed. Sand tattoos. Knuckle tattoos on top of it. Domino, Wolverine, Storm, Gambit. That's a hot team. Written by Chris Claremont and drawn by Salvador LaRocca. I hated this was the issue. I was talking to Jill about something and I was able to tie it into comics about how we've gotten to the point where the people down the line are dictating how this stuff is supposed to be done. And it's like, I don't care what a colorist thinks. You know what I mean? Who cares what a letterer thinks? And the problem with the colorist is that they've taken the place of most inkers these days. When you don't see an inker, it's just straight to color. Hopefully it's the artist that's doing it, so at least they have the entire, like Del Mundo. There's no inker on a Del Mundo piece because he's doing it all digitally, and it's all the way it is. He's masterful at it though, different than other people. But pen and ink, man, you can still tell the difference. And when you get to see pen and ink done, it just, who's the good artist is compared to like the other people, It's a shame that we're like losing it, but I understand. We don't want to waste the world. Oh yeah, by the way, I hated Extreme X-Men. Did I say that already? Maybe this will be good. It's only a mini series, and if you need to be catapulted to the early 2000s, All Against All. I paged through this and I wasn't really captivated, although the art's interesting. It's like these creatures that take over. It doesn't even have to be humans, mammals, different animals. And I don't know. I couldn't get through it. Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty. Why aren't you buying this, people? It's got Captain America in it. Next time we see Symbol of Truth, I'm going to say, why aren't you buying this, people? It's got Captain America in it. The artwork's okay. And there's a change in the Captain America story as far as his shield is concerned. Aliens, and now he's upset with Bucky. And Bucky even shot at Cap. Hexware. Another Image comic. I wasn't too into it, but maybe you will be. Next up, we have Poison Ivy. People are enjoying Poison Ivy. I'm selling it pretty well. But the thing I really wanted to show you, one of the great comic book cover illustrators working in the business today. We're lucky to have him. And yes, there was a time when he did interiors also. But Joshua Middleton is doing one of the Poison Ivy variants. And I don't usually point out variants too often. But when I do, it's usually Josh Middleton or maybe like an Art Germ or something like that. I know what you people like. There is a big Avengers storyline going on right now. There was a one shot that started everything off last week, and this continues into it. If you haven't been reading Avengers for a while, this might be the thing for you. Or we can, at least, applaud Jason Aaron as he's leaving, hopefully. Get this thing back on track. Oh, yeah, that's the book, Avengers Assemble Alpha. I thought it was pretty good. Wes from Thinking Critical was like shitting all over it with Doc. And I mean, that's a match made in heaven when you're trying to shit on something. Like those two can poop on something at the same time. But I didn't think it was that bad. It looked good, and I don't know, the past Avengers really. Oh, look, there's one right there in my face. That's Knuckles O'Shaughnessy. That's that's an Irish Ghost Rider. Finally, I feel represented. All right, guys, this one's important. I didn't get a lot of them. We sold well on the first issue of Beckstar, but you guys, you let me down the rest of the way. So I'm not letting you do that to me this time. So I'll start small and get big if I need to. But our buddy Joe Corallo wrote this issue. He's not co-writing with the guy from Born of Blood. He's not, well, I guess that's pretty much it. He's writing this one and being edited by somebody other than himself. So isn't that great? I don't know who Andrea Milana is, but I really like the art style. It's a bit manga-esque, obviously. It looks that way. But I like the line work. It looks like someone might have inked it even, but I'm sure I'll be surprised. But it looks good. I mean, it really looks good. I enjoy that because a lot of times the thing is like, and I know, like Joe probably wouldn't say anything like this, but you're kind of like you're doomed by a bad artist. It's really tough because the art is the thing that like, oh, I know in the very least in this first issue, I like this illustration style. I will pick it up and take it home. And then if they read it, that's the reason why they're going to get the other issues. So having a good first issue is important. But what's mostly important is having good art so you can get that in their hands. Then, this is the first page. Then, I appreciate him from not starting now to going to then. Oh my goodness. That guy turned into a lycanthrope. And dude shot him in the head. Later. Kind of starts the same way. With instead of a knock, it's a ding dong. But this is a father and daughter and mother situation. So that dude gets hired to do something. It's like later on you find out that he's lost an eye. Doesn't seem like he's really in touch with his family. And these people are looking for something. I think they were set up. And they went kaboom. And this is the dude that's hunting the package down. Because that's what our hero has agreed to do. And yeah, I just like this art a lot. I think it's pretty well done. And this dude's a stone cold killer and he's on the case. So I recommend, I read the whole first issue. Of course, I have to say I like the book because I like Joe. But, and I think this might be one of the times when you actually can say, I actually liked it. Because what I'm saying is, I want to give a good review. But on top of that, I actually am able to give a good review. So that's the part where the actually comes in. It is a good story. I liked it. I liked the illustration a lot. It got me through the book. It was very important to do that. And I think it's a really easy read. And there's enough things to make me question what's going on, again, to want to read the next issue. This is the cover for issue 3, but you get the idea. And with that, I do believe that's the end of New Comic Book Day. All right. Let me turn that off. Let me turn that off. So Joe, let me do this. So Joe, congratulations. I thought you did a really good job on that book, and I'm happy to have it in the store. It's awesome that I have something that I can show. Like, I have a customer. If he listens to this, he knows who he is. And I understand where he's coming from. He's been disappointed in things. I'm the kind of person that can kind of get past it. So case in point, this isn't the one he bitches about. Maybe he does, actually. So there's all this Spider-Man stuff that's gone on since the whole Mary Jane, Mephisto, Aunt May, Peter Parker scenario. And for anybody out there that doesn't know what I'm talking about, things that happened were undone magically. Okay? It shouldn't have been done in the first place. That was the problem. I mean, like, there were so many steps that were taken. And the first part of it was that Peter Parker announced himself to the rest of the world. And it's like, what? All my life, when I'm reading a fucking Spider-Man comic book, he's always trying to hide his identity. He doesn't want his loved ones. His loved ones have died numerous times. He has villains that know who he is. That's bad. They get in your way. He doesn't want anybody knowing. Even the person he doesn't like the most at the time, J. Jonah Jameson. It would be horrible if somebody were to hurt him. It'd get to him that way. And on and on and on. For like 50 years we've been reading this. And then they reveal himself to during the Civil War days. And it's like he didn't want to be a criminal anymore. So he did that. It was wrong. I didn't like it. but more than me not liking it, editorial didn't like that, or maybe that was the condition to appease fans while they were going to take something even more away from Peter Parker than his secret identity. They were going to restore that. But what they were going to do is they were going to take Mary Jane away from him. And they were married. And I think they had a kid at one time or something like that. And even still, I personally was not a fan of Peter being married during the Mary Jane year, to Mary Jane during those years. I really didn't read the comic book. And I was perfectly okay with it happening. So it didn't bother me quite that much, other than the fact it was a hack story. J. Michael Straczynski, JMS, with a hack story right there. Whether it's his fault or Joe Quesada's, it doesn't matter. They're both to blame. They couldn't make it right. They just had to do it hack style. Well, I'm going to just do it hack. And, yeah. Noise out there. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that, Soup Doggy Dog? I met JMS at a Comic-Con in 2017. Weird guy. Oh, yeah, weird? Well, hey, it's cool. We're all weird. I said hi to him, and he looked suspicious. All right, very good. Excellent. I forget what I was talking about. It really doesn't matter. All right, so let's talk about buying for ourselves in December. I saw this. I watched this video of a guy, reviewing comics. He talks about his pull list, talks about the stuff that he's going to cut. He has a little header for all of that, and it's like music. Like, these are my comics I'm going to buy. Blam! Like that. But he always did this. And sometimes he did it like that, you know. But you didn't see his hands. He was just like, yeah, like that. And it was like, I wanted to be all, don't do that. But what nobody watches my show, so so who cares? All right, but I'm excited about Torunn Grønbekk on Thor. Marvel's not making any big a deal of it, but this lady puts Norse on her bio, so like, you know, who better to be writing Thor than this person that's of the culture? You got it, man. You got it. All right, we got the culture down. So speaking from a place of knowledge, I hope we get some good beer action or something like that. Ale. And it's a lady that's writing Thor, and I can't imagine there's been a time, maybe for like an annual, Louise Simonson maybe got in on one or something like that. Maybe Ann Nesenti back in the 80s, but I can't say that for sure. Marvel is doing nothing to be like loud and proud about it, and this seems to be like the most down to earth, not given a shit other than this is the tryout. We're not going to make a big production about it. Let's just see if everybody will accept it. And I would recommend going out and getting Thor tomorrow. That's going to be the one. But if you're like me, I just like watching shows that talk about comic books. I don't really go out and buy comics anymore. I got too many comic books. You might just possibly, want to do something for a store that's out there, a show that's out there that talks about comics. And I want to let everybody know out there that we do indeed have a Patreon. You can subscribe to like monthly, every once in a while, in a long, long time. More than a blue moon, every other blue moon. Maybe something will be put on the page. We don't expect much. I don't give much, but there's people that are like so loaded they don't care. They just want to help people out. And if you're that type of person, go ahead and check us out on Patreon. And you do that so that I can find out about it.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos!
650 your change.
Ah, yes. And
all right, that doesn't work anymore?
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I...
It's Italian. And I always tip my paisanos. Oh, I'm going to have to do something about that. My goodness gracious. That's never happened before. Let me play a different clip. Let me see if this works.
This is where he every day wearing a necklace.
All right. Well, at least you can see me. This is strange. I probably have to go out and come back in, but we shouldn't worry about that right now. Damn, that kind of that kind of makes it hard for me. Let me see. Yeah, technical difficulties. That wasn't me though. Not me. And yeah, haha, I know. All right, let's talk about the topic. Buying stuff for you. Let's be real about it. You go to the comic. How many places do you visit to go buy things? Grocery store, but comic store. Do you still go CD shopping? I know the Rasputin's near me closed. But there's a comic store. We're still open. I know other comic stores that are still open. the thing about the comic store is that you're usually buying things for yourself. And maybe you don't care about December, gift giving season. There's a bunch of them. They've all just kind of like populated towards the end of the month. I don't know. Do you out there, do you have kids? Do you have nephews? Do you have family that are like really super into it? Well, then maybe this is not an advertisement for our half price comic site, but if you're full price or $1 minimum auction. Okay. All right. Where are we going to do the minimum auction? It will be here on the show. We don't know yet. Okay. Very good. So instead of having the half price, we're looking to start liquidating the stuff on the site. Isn't that correct? And then maybe putting more stuff on the site. Okay. But this is a brand new box of something, right? It's the thumbs up or down. But this is new stuff, correct? Okay, very good. And instead of stuff that normally what I would do is I would choose which one is going to be full price and which one is going to go up on the site. But we're getting past the site altogether, and it's going to be part of the $1 auction, minimum auction. Okay, very good. Fine. And not only that, the comic companies don't make it easy either. You know, they come out with really special issues that are coming out, like the Batman Spawn. This is the last time for them to make money. This is the last time for you to like go out and spend a ton. But when you're doing that, normally you're doing it for yourself at the comic store. When you're going out and shopping in December, it's usually for other people. So it's sometimes a really difficult way to, it's difficult to juggle those two things. All right. Fabulous Las Vegas. Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas. Who does that? Who is the McCann? Let me know. And Janet Lee. $1, man, minimum. I don't see the Warlord of Mars. That definitely put that one. Oh man, see that's so expensive. Let me see how big expensive that book is. Higher, $25, $24.99, $1. Warlord of Mars. Look at that Alex Ross cover. $1. Dig in there deeper. See if the other books are in there. The Life After books. That's it. $1. It's volume 3. Nobody cares. Just throw it away. Look at that Alex Ross cover. Voltron. Let's keep it. Someone will buy that maybe. That's a top cow book, isn't it? Oh, Titan. $1. Red Sonny, who writes it? Volume 2. Is that a Gail Simone? Michael Avon Oeming. $1. This is not good radio. Transformers, based on the blockbuster movie Sector 7. $1. Ooh. Volume 5. Who wrote it? Charles Soule. I heard those were really good. Bring them into the store. Those will be half off in the store. That's good. See, these are good things to come in and buy for someone. Let's see, volume 4. Who did that one? This is what you're going to do when you come in and buy your own stuff. So who wrote it? Charles Soule. That's the beginning of his stuff. Yeah, so 4 and 5. So you can come in to the store. We'll say it Thursday, because this guy might not show up tomorrow. It's going to be raining a lot this week, I hear. Yeah. So yeah, we'll try and get these in. But you can come in. You can buy 2 for the price of 1. And that will be a very good gift to your friend who likes Swamp Thing, or to yourself who likes Swamp Thing. Because let's be real about it. You're buying it for yourself, right? No, $1. Yeah, in fact, just throw it across the room. Do it. How do we buy these $1 trades? All right, so here's the deal with Lithidor. We're going to have an auction for it. Minimum is going to be $1. We haven't discussed anything else yet because I'm playing it by ear right now. That's the kind of, if you were here at the store after hours and you saw this guy talking to me about all the stuff we're going to do, now that would make great radio. Get rid of it. $1. See, where the Lithidor is down. So Talking Soul was saying, what number? Volume 4, number $1, please. $1. I do not appreciate books where the Third Reich wins or has an upper hand in any way. I don't appreciate that type of story. So Luftwaffe, that Antarctic, $1. We gotta get good stuff in there. Yeah. Transformers, $1. Spotlight on who? Who is that? Revelation. That's really the name of the character. That's a horrible character name. Maybe it's, oh, I see. It's different ones each time. Sideswipe. I was never a Transformers guy. Simon Furman. Oh, well, if Simon Furman's writing it, that's the Transformers writer for sure. Everybody knows that. One day is our one clear day this week. Wednesday is. Oh, excellent. So I expect every Smokers Lounge, the show. Yeah. So we're going to do some sort of, I'm trying to figure it out because Talking Soul was saying we should do an Instagram one. And then I watch Anglantine, the guy who does I Love Comics channel. $1, please. And he does auctions with comic books. I'd probably be the only one doing it with trades. I'm going to hit you on mailing, but it probably will only be like $15. So buy many. $1 like the others, dude. $1. It's just an annual, really. Oh, I thought you were going to pull from the other side. What's this one? What volume? Volume 10, $1. $1. Let's see it. All the way to the bottom. Yeah. Oh. Looks like a one shot. Is that what it is? A miniseries? Who's the Collins? Is it Nancy? Whoa, Nancy Collins, $1. Nancy Collins, another writer of Swamp Thing, everybody. All right, Quantum Teens are go. Written by, I should have made everybody guess in chat. Mags Visaggio. Do me a favor and look at who edits that book on the inside. Editor. What? Oh, maybe he did number 2. Which volume is this? This is the very first volume of Quantum Teens Ergo. It was. I read the first issue and it didn't suck, and the art was okay, but nothing about it was enough to make me want to keep reading it. $1. Mags Visaggio is an interesting character in comics, but I'm not really a fan necessarily of like her work. Princess Ugh, Ted Nafee. What volume? The problem with Ted Nafee, volume 2. Let me see the interior. Show people the interior. So he has a nice, clean style, and it's kind of, I guess, you kind of feel like it has like a little bit of a kid's appeal to it. But he could do some stuff in there that is not for kids. If I remember correctly. $1. I don't care. That Red Sonja. Who did that? All the way on the bottom. Volume 9. Troutman and Giovanni. Let's see the artwork. That's the problem with Dynamite and Boom a lot of times. Just stupid looking. Yeah, no thank you. $1. It'll be a great day when company people see me really rate their books. Spine, please. What number? 2 by Mark Waid, Chris Samney. Good artwork. Too many. $1. $1. And with that, oh wait, a little bit more. Spine. $1. Yeah, none of this is good. That's why I told you it's not good. Nobody wants the second issue or second volume of something when they can't get the first one. And nobody wants Red Sonja. $1. Mel Ruby. Good stuff. I don't know how you get a lot of... What happens is you sell out of the first volume. And you don't get as many of the second volume, It's not like you order a lot of them. Unless it's Black Widow. What? Edmondson and Noto. That's probably a volume 3. Oh, it follows the Wade stuff is what it does. Noto. He's just not good. He was talk about a revelation at one time when he first popped on the scene. But talk about not looking like that's what I was reading a tweet where someone in comics or somebody that reviews comics or something, they were talking about AI, and it was comic creator. It was Ron Mars, I think it was. I could be wrong about Ron Mars, but I think it was like an old timer, like Ron Mars, and they were saying if any comic book $1, if any comic book writer uses AI for cover, or $1, all of it $1. Let me stop you when something is worth more than $1. If any writer uses AI for their covers or for the art on the inside, then they aren't a comics writer. And I'm like, wow, that sounds very gatekeepy. I remember when people used what's that art that you used, Eugene? Clip art to make comic books. I mean, what, the fact that you had to find the piece to put in to be able to tell your comic book story, that's not cheating. That's a comic book, though. Of course it's a comic book, just like the AI stuff would be also. The worst part about writing a comic book, what the worst thing is? working with an artist. That's the worst thing. Working with an artist is always the worst thing. And for the artist, working with anybody is the worst thing. The client is always an asshole. Look at that. What is that one? Oh, yeah, it's the annual. Yeah, so what? It's good stuff. I guess we didn't really talk about shopping in December. I try and make you feel better about it, so that you won't, oh, I can't afford kids Christmas presents, and you just bought a $50, $100 omnibus, but it was on sale. You know what you need, and I'm here to provide it for you. How many of the Red Sonias are by Oming? I think it was just that one. If there was another one, we probably don't have it. I saw a lot of Reed, so Brian Reed. There's one Oming. That's the second from the bottom. All right, not second from the bottom anymore. Yeah, Troutman, Reed. Oh, two Omings. So 3. Oh, they're both 3 though. So just that one, actually. Yeah, 3. I can find out later. I got a computer that lets me know what we bought. $60-40, good to bad client ratio. Wait. What is this in reference to? I thought I'd been better. Damn, I'm gonna try a song really quick. See if or this one. Let's see.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, I won't be able to play you out with a song. I guess I won't be able to do this. So the end of the show. That's right. It's almost the end of the show, everybody. This is the point in the episode where I like to let everybody know that our patrons are so beloved by me. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for trying to keep this comic store alive. This last few weeks has been kind of a little rough. We've had great Wednesdays, and I've had really nice sales. I've had people come back in and pick up their stuff. And again, I know it's really tough, and especially this time of year. You got to allocate money to go to different places. So it's really hard to say, oh, spend more. But if there's a comic book I could get for you, if there's something you need that might make a good gift. I know sharing the love of comics is you're already, I try and not do that when I'm shopping. So I really don't get anything. I'm horrible at it. Unless I can get it and, through all the other means that everybody always gets stuff. So go into your comic store. Oh, and don't forget, if you make a wrestling pose and take a picture in front of our store, you're going to be eligible to win we'll just give you one of the wrestling figurines that we have right here is one of them. The man, it's actually a stamp. So unstamped, yeah, unsheath that. There you go. You can stamp Becky Lynch's face profile in a very important letter that you mailed out to somebody. You heat the wax up, you put it down on that, seal it up. That's how we're going to do all our letters going forward. I'm not licking that anymore. It's all wax. No, but really, a lot of these patrons of ours are ex-customers that tell me when they come back that their local comic store sucks. I feel so bad for them. Some are friends. Some are people that just don't want to buy comics anymore because they have too many. I mean, I'm dead serious about that. I understand. but they know that, you know, the comic store to stay alive it's important for a comic store to stay alive. And in Berkeley, a college town, I know I'm not like right at the college anymore, but if a college town can't support a comic book store, that's a problem. That's a real big problem. Bray Wyatt. Wow, look at that. That's the second Bray Wyatt that they have. That's the Funhouse one. He's like a Mr. Rogers type. Yeah. So there. That's the Patreon spiel. I know I kind of ran over it, but I put up our Fantastic Comics PayPal. This is the thing that we use to get the winning bids from $1 minimum auctions. Is that the great one? Is that Black Adam right there? It looks like the Brahma Bull. Does he have a biz at The Rock? I can't see. I need to see his junk up close. The Rock says, know your role and shut your hole. He likes pie. He doesn't like strudel. Man, wrestling back then. Embarrassing. And with that, I'm going to look right here. Hold on a second. Elithidor. Dang, Dynamite has made it impossible to get his run in an omnibus. Yeah, I bet. I mean, that's the thing. You know, that's the thing, Elithidor. Those comics, there's nothing wrong with. All right, so Life After. I read the first 6 issues, 8 issues worth. Fialkov was a pretty cool writer back in the early aughts. And the artist, it was Gabbo. You're gonna love me. Is that Gabbo from The Simpsons? The puppet. I think all I remember is that Ernest Hemingway was a character, and other dead famous people like that were also. And I can't exactly remember anything else about the book other than that, but it was pretty good. But you know, it's volume 3, you know, what are you going to do? But in situations like the Red Sonja, where you don't really need to read all that other stuff, but if you want all that other stuff, like the Oeming books, it's going to be hard to get. So, you know, when we put these up, check out our half price site. There's still other things like this on there that you might find. And, you know, just buy $75 worth and it's free shipping. That was in response to all the clients being bad for artists. Oh, geez. All right, so let me see. Not always. I'd say it's 60-40 good to bad client ratio. Got you. Well, it's just that any artist I've known, they're like, the client says what they want, and then you do it, and then they don't like it, and then they don't know what they really want. I mean, I ain't no artist, but I know that would be a shitty job. How's your father? Will it help if I badmouth your competitors? No, you don't have to do that. You know, do it to the Escapist. Badmouth them. I know people over there, so it would be funny. But especially their comic grader. You know, that guy doesn't know a 9.2 from a 9.4. You know what I mean? Fantinium says, see you tomorrow, Yule. And Battle Buddy says, I'll be there tomorrow. Best comic shop in the Bay. It's a true statement. I mean, we are the best. We try. That's what it really is. We try. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I don't know what this technical difficulty is all about. Hopefully, it just is I have to jump in and jump out. So next week, it will be back to normal. We're counting the days to Christmas. I'm going to be pointing out some things that you should be looking at as far as gifts are concerned. So there'll be content you can like if you have a friend, I'll try and figure it out for you so that if you have a friend that likes comics and is regular or isn't regular, I'll have something aside for them so that, you know, to talk about, so that you can choose something for them, something a little different, something in print. I'm not gonna do like the other shows where they tell you to get something and it's not available. So next week, that's what we'll be doing. Somebody remind me. Talk to you later. Bye.